Good morning, everyone. What's up? Early mornings are always fun, especially when you actually need to wake up and be productive. But I have something really interesting to tell you today, so here I am. And actually, I will be a little bit geeky today, so let me put my glasses on. 2 o'clock in the night, and I am making a tea lice holder for my mother-in-law. So this is how it's supposed to look like. I literally have no idea if it's gonna work out, as I have not used the 3D printer for a while. I'm not sure if the material is okay. I am not sure if the machine is working okay, so let's hope. I probably need to go to sleep right now, but I'm just afraid that it's gonna catch on fire or something like that. Good morning. So the flat is not on fire, which is already good. Let's see what we've got out of the printer. Not bad, not bad indeed. I hope mother-in-law is gonna like it. Fingers crossed. Right, I'm sure you've seen different tools, models, phases built by regular people at home. Well, welcome to 2022 and 3D printing. Today I want to tell you about 3D printing, about its basics, about how the whole technology works, about the materials, and what you need to do to join the community. And I will show you the whole end-to-end process in practice, because one of my fellas asked me to do a part for his sofa because there is no replacement sold on the market. So let's do it together. So if you look at this massive machine, you'll be like, why the hell is it even called a printer? It doesn't look like one. Well, to answer that question, let's go to the basics and talk about two ways how you can create physical objects. They are called subtractive and additive. Subtractive is used when, for example, you have a piece of wood and you use a special machinery to subtract the wood from the big piece to build an object. Whereas additive, and printers are actually the machines of additive manufacturing, is when you have nothing and you add material on top of that to create an object. Like I said, usual printers are additive machines because you have a blank piece of paper and then you add ink on top of that. It looks flat, but if you zoom in, you will see that there is additional layer to create your art. And this is exactly how 3D printer works. The only difference is that it works in 3D space and it uses different materials, not ink. 3D printers are also different. One of them, for example, is called SLA, which stands for stereolithography. It uses liquid resin and works with excess of liquid plastic that after a while hardens and forms into the actual object. It uses laser to build the form of each layer. This printer produces better quality objects, but it uses chemicals, so you always need to do some post-production and you need to be careful with the whole production process. The other one is called FDM, which stands for Fused Deposition Modeling, which is a very popular on the market, and this is exactly the one I have. It heats up the material using a hot printing head and applies the material on the surface layer by layer. It's relatively easy to use, it doesn't require any chemicals, it's very safe. Quality does vary depending on the model, but the latest ones are actually doing an amazing job. There are also about 5 other types of printers, but they are not used at like home printing, so let's skip that part. Materials. There are very different types of materials. Basically, different types of plastics. Recycled plastic, bioplastic, carbon plastic, wood plastic, you name it. There are so many types of them. The most common one is called PLA, which stands for some really complex chemical term. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it. But what the cool thing about it is it's actually made from starch. Each type of materials have its own attributes. Some of them are more flexible, some of them are more durable, because the piece that we're going to be creating is just going to be used indoors. There's going to be no extra pressure on them all the time, and also they don't require extra flexibility. We're going to use this standard PLA. We're going to go ecological. Next step is building the 3D model of an object you want to create, and that is probably the most complex and time-consuming process, because you need to think of all the printer capabilities, you need to make sure you build the model right, and you need to take into account all the measurements. So we will need some extra tools. Now we need to create a mirrored version of this model, because this part is fine and the other one is actually broken. Gladly, it's an easy thing to do. Okay, so we've got the 3D model, but how does the printer know how exactly to print it? Going back to the fact that printer prints by a layer, we need to transform this into a set of instructions of how each layer should be printed, what temperature to use, and many other different data points. And this is exactly where the process called curing comes in. There are many applications on the market that are made for 3D printers exactly to do this. So all you need to do is to set up your printer, tell what materials you're going to be using, and it will do the job for you. Like this. Voila. So this is actually the process. Even though it's mainly automated, it can actually take a long time, as there are more than 500 parameters that can be configured. But don't worry, you don't need to know all of them. It's all about just learning more about what these parameters do and improving the quality of the outcome. Time of printing reflects on many different factors, like the amount of printhead movement, the density of the object, and the amount of filling. Obviously, the more fill you add, the more sturdy the object is going to be, but it can drastically increase the time of the production and the amount of material used. After you've got your model printed out, you may want to polish it, and different types of plastics will give you different opportunities how to do that. For example, wood PLA allows you to use sandpaper to polish it, which will create this woody effect. Some types of plastics can be polished using the acetone, but because this is just a constructional piece and it actually went out pretty well from the beginning, we're not gonna do anything else. So how to get into 3D printing? Well, first of all, obviously, you will need a printer. There are a lot of them on the market. I'll put some links in the description, but don't go for the cheapest ones. Pick some average 3D printer. They're not that expensive, but at least you will get some good support, good community, and it's gonna be easier to use. Make sure not to use the default material that is provided with the printer, because it's usually super cheap and you're not going to enjoy working with it. It can actually make harm to your printer. So yeah, this one, no. Make sure to buy another roll of a PLA. It's not expensive, but you will definitely thank me later. Join the community. There are a lot of groups on Facebook and other social networks. Download your first models. Again, I'll put the links in the description where you can find free models and start printing. It's not gonna work out straight out of the box. You will have to play with it, but that's the beauty of it. You will enjoy the process and you will just enjoy the fact that you build something physical, even if it's not the best quality, but you will go step by step and it's gonna get better and better and better. So I hope you found this video useful. Like it if you did, subscribe to this channel if you want to learn more about the tools and practices for creative stuff. And if you have any other questions about 3D printer, let me know in the comment section below. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye.